Hello everyone, I'm one of the applications manager here at the ODI company, and I want to welcome you to our ODI University, where today we're going to discuss our MODA box. We refer to it as the single box solution. The reason why is all of our boxes have the same footprint, which means that one faceplate will fit all of the same boxes. If you have a situation where you have a little bit of deeper installation because of the wall thickness, we also sell an extension for this, which will allow you to come out an additional 3/4 of an inch if necessary. On our cover plates, we also offer a half cover. This is really nice for a lot of those lavatory sinks installations, possibly your water closet where this box will be exposed. This here, once it's snapped into place, all you're going to see coming out is your supply line. We also offer the louver vent. This here is for our AAV box, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a moment. This here allows breathability for the AAV vent to gather air, so it's not encapsulated inside of a wall cavity. And also, it's easily popped out, so it becomes an access panel. All right? In our box, during the rough-in process, our valves are going to come pre-installed. We have multiple valves possibilities, which we're going to talk about on the wall behind me in a second. We have our kitchen grouping, which includes 2 3/8 connections, compression, and a third box which has a separate valve in it for your dishwasher. We also offer a water closet and lavatory sink package, an ice maker single, and then of course our washing machine. Our washing machine versatility is second to none in the industry. You're going to see where we can straddle studs, we can span studs, we can even do separate wall installations. And we're going to finally talk about our fireproofing box. So we have a box that you can install in those fire-rated applications and meet all the code requirements in the field. So when I do put a box into the wall and I'm going towards the construction, cleaning that box out at the end of the project is really a pain in the butt. So what we have is, we have the construction debris cover here. This debris cover comes in every one of our boxes. The back peels off and sticks easily to the front. There are perforations inside of this so that I can easily tap it and open it up, leaving the outside on because the faceplate cover is going to cover that up anyhow. Or I can easily grab it and peel it off. This keeps everything on the inside of the box clean and pristine and cuts down on that finish trim out work. Okay, also in our box, we have our 1/4 turn test plug. So if I have a drain connection inside of one of my washer boxes, this 1/4 turn test plug fits down inside the box, and then with a simple 1/4 turn, I'm locked into place and I'm ready to test this system. It's easily removed at the end of the job when I'm ready to connect up that washing machine. Our bracket systems for spanning the stud spaces. Okay, these bracket systems have the same connection points as our boxes do. You snap them together on either side of the box or even one side of the box, and it's going to give you that extension that you need to span across that stud space. Easily snapped together, has 3 points of connection, so if there is a knot in the stud, you can easily go around it and get good secure anchoring to that stud. These also connect to our boxes, and our boxes themselves are easily connected by lining up the male and female tabs on both ends. With a quick alignment and a push together, my box is now ready to go. With a simple tug, I can pull it apart. I can realign it in any situation that I need. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to go to the wall behind me and we'll take a closer look at some of these boxes. Okay, so earlier we assembled our box extension pieces, which, like I said, attach to both sides of any box configuration that you have. And I wanted to show, based on this knot right here that you can see on the stud, I can easily slide a bracket into place. I can then take it, I can screw in above, I can reload a screw, and then I can screw in below. The knot is no longer a factor for me, and I get a great secured to that stud. It makes my box more than rigid enough for installation. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and set our drill down, and then we're gonna come back up here, and let's look at our AAV box that we have. We spoke earlier about the louver vent cover that goes onto here. So what we have is, when you receive your kit, you're going to have a transition adapter with a female thread. Your AAV is going to come pre-wrapped in plastic to protect the internal mechanisms of this so you don't get dirt on it. So when you're ready for install, after all your rough-in inspections have been completed and you're installing your finish, you want to go ahead and peel off this protective covering. You want to put an approved thread sealant tape onto this thread. We used Hercules Mega Tape for our application. You're going to go ahead and thread it in at that point in time. You're going to insert the adapter into the box, and with a simple quarter turn, which matches the testing plug, you'll secure it into place and you're ready to go. We also have a secondary box to look at. The secondary drain box is great for water softener applications. So if I have to connect that discharge to a box, I can easily bring it in. In this particular one here, it comes with a funnel and an umbrella adapter that will be connected to a drain connection up top, which you can adapt to PEX piping, CPVC, or copper. For the copper, it's available so that you can either solder or you can ProPress into place. Okay, so this would be your secondary drain box. Let's move down here and let's take a look at our gas box offering that we have. Gas box offering, same footprint. Okay, single box solution like we spoke about before. So my face covers are going to cover this. We have it available in 1/2 inch and 3/4. So when you receive your box, your 3 components are going to be your shank, your tailpiece. It's going to be your valve body, which you would put in a approved thread sealant paste or tape onto, thread it into place, and then it's also going to come with either the 1/2 inch or the 3/4 test plug. This would also have a pipe sealant put onto it, thread it back into place, make sure that it's pressure tested properly, and then leave there until the appliance is ready to be connected. This will help to ensure that you have no gas leaks and possible fires. Moving up closer, we have what we call here a configuration for our kitchen installations. So we have 3/8 compression connections here. These 3/8 compression, okay, come in a 2-valve box for your kitchen sink and a single valve box for your dishwasher. So this particular configuration you would order, and this would be for your kitchen sink application. We also have our ice maker box. Now, our ice maker box comes with a 1/4 inch compression, okay? And one of the key features on this valve is all of our valves have a stop built into them. So they're only going to slightly move from side to side. One of the things we took into consideration was our contractors in the field, once you connect that refrigerator supply line to there and that big unit gets pushed back, you have a high probability of kinking that line. So our ice maker valves will actually spin 360 degrees, okay, without having any issues whatsoever with binding up and help and assist in so that supply line does not bind up. Also, one of our best features in our valves are the quick disconnect and change out of a particular valve. All valves in the past threaded into this tailpiece. What did that mean if one of your valves went bad? Well, I'd have to try to get a couple big wrenches inside there. I ended up just getting frustrated, cutting the wall open, changing the valve, and then at that point in time, I have to get the wall patched and repaired. Plus, I got to try to get that big bulky valve back into that box. So what we've done is our product management team and our engineers got together and they developed a pin. So with a pair of needle nose pliers, I will extract that pin from the box. Now, with a slight twist and upper motion, what happens is I can pull my valve out. All of our valves in the MODA line are designed to have 2 O-rings on the inside. These 2 O-rings individually will hold 125 PSI, which is what we test them at. We have 2. So if one was to accidentally fail for some reason, okay, you do have the secondary one, which means that any domestic water service line, which is maximum 80 PSI, is not going to apply more pressure to this system than what it can handle. All right, so now I have my new valve ready to install. So what I want to do is I want to come in with a slight twisting motion. I compress down and I align my valve so it's in the forward position. I then take my clip, reposition it into my needle nose pliers. I come in, align it with the hole, slide it back into place. I can turn my water system back on. Absolutely zero chance whatsoever of this wall needing to be open to replace that valve. Also, on all of our boxes, we've also incorporated a small tailpiece in the back. The small tailpiece is lower than the flood level rim of this particular box, which means I can cut it off. adapt a clear hose to it, and then run it to some kind of floor receptor or maybe a washer box at a lower point, or maybe even a laundry tray. Now, if something is dripping inside this box, maybe my hose connection where I thread it on, the box will capture it. It can go down through that drain. It'll end up in the other receptor. Somebody can see it, and then they can reach out for help and say, hey, I see some water. Please come figure out what this is. This will stop long-term water damage and possible mold inside the wall cavities that most people don't see right away. Okay, moving in this direction, let's look at another configuration that we offer. This would be our bathroom package. We can either have just a water closet valve by itself, 3/8 of a connection. You can see here that we've inverted this box. So you can bring those water lines in from the top if necessary, okay? Or in the lavatory box that we show within this grouping, okay? We went ahead and did a conventional upwards connection. Here's the copper tail pieces that we talked about earlier. And you have two 3/8 compression valves within this box. Keep in mind that all valves are available with or without hammer arresters. So we always do recommend hammer arresters to help the protection of the plumbing integrity, but that is strictly up to you on how you configure your valves. Okay, let's talk about some of our laundry boxes now. 7/8 connections, all of our laundry boxes, okay? Single box connections. We can have drain on the bottom, valve inverted, water lines coming down to connect into it. We can stack them if necessary. We can have a single drain box on the bottom, and then we can have a valve box on top, inverted, so that we can bring the water lines down inside there. Over here, we have a straddle stud application. This particular application, like we showed before, you can snap those two boxes together, insert two screws very rapidly. This box is ready then to be roughed in. I have my drain box on this side. I can tie in vertically. My water lines will be tied in on this side of the box, and the real estate inside here is used to its maximum potential. All right, let's go ahead and move up to this installation. This would be our straddle stud installation. Earlier in the presentation, we showed you how easily the boxes snap together. I would straddle this stud, insert two screws. Now I'm ready to rough in this valve and drain body. You can see that I have the drain body on this stud bay, the water connections on that stud bay. This allows me to swing that 2-inch trap up into place without any obstructions or bowing of the drywall. Okay, finally, let's look at our separate wall connections here. So if you've ever worked in a multifamily dwelling, you know that you're going to have stackable washers and dryers. So do I want to move that big beast of an appliance out of the way in case I have to turn on water or shut water off? Absolutely not. So our boxes can be installed on separate walls. Drain obviously would always be installed behind. As it's pushed back into place, then we take those water connections and we connect them on the side. That allows us then to have complete control of the on-off features of our box from the front of the machine, and I don't have to have any worries about emergency situations. Okay, to finish up, we're going to move to our fire-rated MODA box along with our metal stud adapter. So one of the things I want to point out is, in one of the boxes we showed you earlier, okay, in the side, you have these slots. You have this V-notch bracket adapter that comes with those slots, and what would happen is, if I'm installing into a metal stud on the hollow side, you have no stability whatsoever. So our little adapter, slightly pinched, slid into place. Now, when I apply this to the metal stud, it fills in that cavity and it gives me good rigidity. Okay? Finally, our fire-rated box. You'll see here that the fire-rated box in this application is installed straddle stud position, has the bracket system, comes with 3 back brackets per box. These are all anchored in specific locations. Okay? Also, the front 2 tabs like we spoke about before, and on the back you have the intimate pads. This one here, I just turned the box around so that you could see the 3 bracket systems that go into place along with the intimate pad on the back. So we hope you feel as comfortable with our product as we do and feel that it can accomplish any installation that you have. Another thing to keep in mind in the field is a lot of folks think, oh, why do I want to spend that box for a lavatory sink or a kitchen sink rough in? Just remember something. If I rough in 2 water lines for a lavatory drain, Later on, I have to come back, shut the water down, cut those water lines, put in my valves, go back, turn the water back on, and hopefully I have no leaks. I got to worry about having escutcheons that weren't dinged up in my truck. If I install the MODA box system into my wall and I connect the water to it and I come back in the lavatory box situation we have here, guess what? I don't need escutcheons because my faceplate goes over top of it. My water line has already been charged up the entire process. Say a drywaller hits that water line, I'm going to know it. So this here is going to be a time savings on the finish. So we do recommend these boxes for all applications if it's a time sensitive and a cost sensitive project, because this overall will save you cost. Okay, thank you very much today for joining us, and we'll see you soon.